which was our Animal Kingdom day. We decided to do Animal Kingdom without fast passes. Ooh, my ears. We decided to do Animal Kingdom without fast passes because later on that evening we're going to go to Hollywood Studios, and I wanted to use our fast passes for Toy Story Movie Mania and what else do we use them for? Tower of Terror and Star Tours I think we had a fast pass for. So we went to Animal Kingdom, no fast passes. My dad decided he was tired and it was hot and we were going to Animal Kingdom, which isn't his favorite. He decided to skip it. So he spent the day at the pool and at the resort, and we decided to go to Animal Kingdom without fast passes, and we went for opening. And when they roped her up, it was like hot standing there waiting for the park to open. But when they open, they do a macaw release with the birds, the colorful birds. It's so beautiful. They like fly right over you and they fly back. And if you've never seen it before, it's really nice. Some other zoos do it too, but it's just really pretty. After that, we headed with the rest of the line to the safari because my daughter wanted to go on. I knew my daughter would enjoy that. So my mom and me and my son and my daughter went on the safari, and my husband skipped it and went to go look at the animals on the gorilla trail. The reason is because my husband has asthma, and for some reason the last 2 times we went, during a certain part of the safari, he has had an asthma attack. Like, thought he was going to have to go back to the room and take his nebulizer. So he decided this time he was going to skip it. I'm curious to know whether or not he would have been okay on it because it's a different time of year, different things are going to be blooming, but we decided not to risk it. So he decided to get a Starbucks with his snack credit, go look at the gorillas, which really is his favorite anyway. And he said like he really enjoyed just taking the time. He loves animals. It's one of his favorite things, just looking at the animals and spending time with the gorillas, which are really cool to watch. Skip it because he won't want to go on it anyway. But the safari was nice. Then we decided to do something a little different. We went to see Flights of Wonder, which we had never seen before. And my son was all, I don't want to go see a show. I want to go on Everest. And I decided, nope, we're doing Flights of Wonder. We got to do something that your sister can do. So we went and saw Flights of Wonder, and he loved it. These amazing birds basically fly right over your head and back, and it's really neat, and it's a little humor to it. So we enjoyed that, and we got snacks during that. And then we went over to Everest, and the wait was about 30 minutes. We didn't have fast passes, but that was okay. This was before Avatar opened, so now it's probably much busier, but you know, we got there right in the morning. We didn't really have any problems like getting through the line of Everest. And my son, this was the first time that he could go on it because he's like 46 inches now, but previously he wasn't 44 on a previous trip, so he got to go on it. He was very excited. He had watched videos online. He knew it went backwards. He knew it was in the dark. We got a switch pass for it just in case he wanted to go on it again, and he did not want to go on it again. It scared him. It was too much. And I don't know if it was the dark or the Yeti or what, but he didn't like it. Which surprised me because he's pretty brave when it comes to rides. So I got off and I said, oh, do you want to do it again? He's like, no. I said, did you not like it? He says, I liked it, but once is enough. So we had our swap pass. So I found a family of 3. It was like a mom and dad and a girl. And the ride line had actually gone up to 45 minutes by then. So I was able to give them to them, and they were like suspicious. They're like, this is for real? So they went up to the line and they're like, oh, could we use this? And they're like, oh yeah, come on in. So they got to use the fast pass, which was nice. You know, I love doing that when there were paper fast passes, and you can't really do that anymore. And we went over to the dig site over in Dinoland. They dug and played and went down the big slides for a while. We went on Triceratops spin, and then we got some popcorn and some frozen beverages, and and we went back to the bus to get out of there. We did not go on Dinosaur. My son was scared and would not go on it. It's not my favorite. My husband really likes it though, so we'll have to make sure to get on it next trip. I think we just went back to the, yep. went back to the hotel for a little while, rested, had some lunch, rested, had naps. The kids were napping at this point, at least my daughter was, which was a good thing because she needed that afternoon nap. Then we took the boat over to Hollywood and Vine for dinner, which is a character dinner. And it's a buffet. And so we met the characters. That took a while. Then after that we went on, my husband and my son went on Star Tours because my husband and son really like that ride. I do not. It makes me nauseous. I will go on it if I have to, but if I can skip it, I'll skip it. So while they did that, I took my daughter to meet Olaf. And then after Olaf, we met back up with my husband and we met Sorcerer Mickey and Minnie. And this was a big deal because my son loves Sorcerer Mickey. He calls him Wizard Mickey. He was him for Halloween. He was Mickey when he was his second Halloween, his third Halloween, and then he was Sorcerer Mickey this last Halloween when he was 5. And he just loves Sorcerer Mickey. I don't know why. I don't know, but he just loves it. And going to Fantasmic, makes him love him even more. So he got in his, it was hot, so we didn't have him wear it to the park, but we were in line. We had him put on his Sorcerer Mickey costume because that's what he wanted to do. And we did not bring a stroller that afternoon to Hollywood and Vine, so I'm like carrying around this backpack full of like Sorcerer Mickey hat and Sorcerer Mickey robes and his rope and all these other things. But he put it on. He was so excited to meet Sorcerer Mickey. Sorcerer Mickey made a big deal out of him and had him do his magic with him, and so that was really nice to see him do that. Every single trip we have to meet Sorcerer Mickey. It's like the one character that my son just wants to meet first and foremost. So we went over and did that. Then we had a little bit of time. We had a fast pass for Tower of Terror. So we walked over there. My son was like, I don't know if I want to do it. He had done it when he was 4. He did it twice. Like, little 4-year-old, just tall enough to ride, went on it. Once with me, once with his papa, and, he did it twice. He liked it. He was a little scared still. So, we were walking by, and the aerial show was we did Toy Story first. We rode that first, and then the aerial show was just about to start. And I'm like, Rich, go in there. Because he won't ride Tower of Terror. He's a big chicken. So he went in and he did, he saw the aerial show with Aria, and he said that she just loved it, and so that was nice. And me and my son got some bonding time and did Tower of Terror. Now, he basically clenched my arm the entire time. He is not scared of the drop. He loves the drop. He would do it a million times if it was just the drop. The ghosts scare the poop out of him, the loud, like, clinking when you're moving on the track, it just scares him. So he kind of like clung to me the whole time and made me cover his ears the whole time. But he still likes the drop, so we only had to do that once. But he likes it. He says he'll do it again, but it does make him nervous. But he was brave and he did that. So after that we went to Fantasmic. We had the dining package, so we had our tickets, which I highly recommend it. If you want to go see Fantasmic, you have to be there super duper early to get a good seat standby. So either do a fast pass or do the dining package. You don't pay any more than you would normally pay for the dining package, especially if you're on the meal plan. Just do a Fantasmic dining package. Hollywood and Vine, you get characters in the dining package. We like Mama Melrose too, it's fine. And Brown Derby if you're adults and like food, yummy food, and more of an adult atmosphere. But so we went and did Fantasmic. We got there about a half hour before show, maybe 45 minutes before the show. But if you're doing standby, you have to be there even sooner. And you get perfect seats with dining package. It's right in the middle. So we went and we did that. And I would recommend, if you do get a fast pass for Fantasmic, usually there's fast passes left. Like if you do your first 3 fast passes, you can make a fourth fast pass. So that's what I would recommend, is go do your 3, and then when that 3rd one is over, check and see if there's one for Fantasmic, because there's a lot. There's a lot of seats, so sometimes there are. I wouldn't have it be one of your first 3 because then you can't make any more. So yeah, Fantasmic was great. My daughter was a little scared of the dragon. She like shook, but other than that, she did well. Now, we bought the bubble wands that they sell there. They're expensive, but my kids, like, from the minute we got to Disney World, wanted those bubble wands, and they work super well. So we did get those, so they played with those while we waited. We also brought lots of glow sticks and glow bracelets, and we handed them out to the kids around us, which was super fun. And people around us were really, really grateful and like happy. We got popcorn and nachos, and the show was really nice. The kids held up well considering it was late. After that, I had my daughter in a carrier on my back for this evening, because we didn't bring the stroller because we knew we were doing Fantasmic, and getting out of Fantasmic can be tough with a stroller, especially because then you have to find your stroller, get out of the stroller parking, because they park it for you. So it might not be where you left it, and then you have to wheel slowly out of the park. So we skipped that. I put her on my back, and actually I think I put her on my front this evening, and we headed out to the boat, got on the first boat, took a nice boat ride back to Beach Club, and went to sleep. And that was the end of day 4. Next day I didn't vlog like at all. That was my bad. We went to Typhoon Lagoon in the morning. It was kind of like our break day. We went late. We didn't get to Typhoon Lagoon till like 10-ish, maybe. I think they only open at 10, so it was a little later than that. 10:30. My husband loves water parks. Not my favorite, but he loves them. And the last trip we couldn't go because our water park day, we got rained out. So I went to Typhoon Lagoon. First thing we did was, we went to Ketchikan Creek. The kids played in there, liked that. Then we did the Lazy River, which is my husband's favorite, and my son didn't like it, because there's like a waterfall part, and he freaked him out. So he didn't like that. The whole time he was stressed that there was going to be another waterfall. So we got out of there, and we went down, like, they have little slides by the wave pool. They're like bigger than the ones at Ketchikan Creek, but still small, like for littler kids, in the shallow area near the wave pool. So he did those a bunch. He loved that. My daughter liked it too, which I was surprised. She was very brave. And then he kind of my daughter was like, took a dunk, and she didn't want to go on him anymore. She kind of dunked under the water for a second. And so I said, my husband loves the Lazy River. I said, go on the Lazy River with your daughter, and you will find us. We'll be at Ketchikan Creek, and you'll be able to find us, and I'll keep an eye out for you. So we did that. That's what he did. He went around, and he said that she loved it. She sat on his lap in the Lazy River and just like laid back and reclined and closed her eyes, and just very relaxed. So he was so happy that one of his kids liked it, because he loves the Lazy River. Way back when we were on our trip for our 1-year wedding anniversary, I just remember we're floating the Lazy River, and he'd see like dads with their little girls and just having so much fun. And that was like when he decided, he's like, all right, I'm ready to have kids, because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be the dad with his daughter in the Lazy River. So I'm happy that worked out for him, because it didn't work out with his son, and his daughter is very much a mama's girl. So he doesn't always get that bonding time with her. She always wants me. So he was happy that he got that time with his daughter, and it was a little Disney magic for him. So after Typhoon Lagoon, we were only there for about, 2.5 hours. That night we had our date night at Tutto Italia in the World Showcase at Epcot, and so we got back. We rested a little bit, had a nap for Aria, and had some lunch. Yeah, we had lunch. We ate most of our lunches at the resort. My son actually prefers to eat oatmeal for lunch. Chicken nuggets. He loves chicken nuggets, but he gets sick of chicken nuggets. And he doesn't like pizza, and he doesn't really like hamburgers. So we had oatmeal in the room, and peanut butter and jelly and things like that. And he loves oatmeal. I don't know. He loves it. He'll eat it for dinner every night if I let him. So he ate oatmeal, and we did Frozen Ever after nap time. We went to Frozen Ever After. I can't remember if I went to the pool with him during this time. I might have during that rest time. And went to Frozen Ever After with our fast passes. We rode that again. And then my parents took the kids and they went and did some of the playgrounds for Flower and Garden Festival. And they went on Spaceship Earth again because my daughter liked it so much. And so when they did that, we had our reservation at Tutto Italia. And we walked around the World Showcase a little bit after that. We went into the Japan store. Was it Morimoto? No, I forget the name of it now. We went to the store in Japan. Mitsukashi. I don't remember. We went into the store in Japan and got some pictures with the PhotoPass photographers. Since with our annual pass we get PhotoPass for free, so we got lots of pictures around the World Showcase and the topiaries, and we had a nice dinner at Tutto Italia, and we just enjoyed each other's company without kids, which is really nice. We got back to the resort a little bit before Illuminations, and we decided we wanted to sit on the swings in front of Beach Club, in front of the water, on the sand. You could sit on like these benches that swing, so we decided to sit and do that and just enjoy the night. It was nice. Once the sun went down, it was gorgeous. Like, it was definitely hot during our trip, but it wasn't that humid, so it was very comfortable in the shade, and when the sun went down, it was fine. It was just nearing that Florida sun beating down on your head where it was real hot. Let's see. So that was that end of that day. And the next day was Thursday. Thursday was another Magic Kingdom day, but we didn't get there for rope drop, but we got there right after rope drop. We would have actually been there a lot sooner. But this was the day that the bus situation ended up not being good. Usually if you get to the bus by 8 o'clock, well, after 8, buses come pretty frequently because I know people are trying to get to the park for opening. But on this day, we get there and it says the next bus isn't due till 8:45. So we knew right then we wouldn't get there for opening, which wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't our first day. We didn't have that much going on. We had breakfast reservations at 10 something at Crystal Palace, but I wanted to get there early because I wanted to see Merida, because I thought Merida started seeing people at 9:30. And her line is really hot and it can get long. So I wanted to get there first. But the bus said it wouldn't come till 8:45. 8:45 came, bus came, we didn't get on the bus, which sucked. We should have, I feel like, but there were 2 scooters and then a couple of families before us, and the bus was pretty full from the yacht club, so that stunk. So then we had to wait another, I would say, 20 minutes. So we didn't even get on the bus till after 9 o'clock. But we ended up getting through to Magic Kingdom, through security and everything. We ended up getting through by 9:30, and we went over to Merida, and she didn't start meeting till 10. So that was a bummer. For some reason, the information I looked at was older information. So I did have a fast pass to meet Rapunzel and Tiana, so we went over there, and the wait for Cinderella and Elena wasn't too long, so we did that first. And we did our fast passes for Rapunzel and Tiana, and Tiana's my son's favorite princess, so he was happy to get to see her. I can see that we're losing that magic with him. I think this might be his last trip. I'm hoping next trip will still be magical too, but you can see he's starting to question things, and it makes me sad. But he likes Tiana. He still likes those princesses. He might not admit it anymore, but so we met Tiana. I think that's the last thing we did before our reservations. So yes, we were able to meet all 4 princesses, and then we went to Crystal Palace and ate breakfast there. And I could pass on Crystal Palace, but my husband loves him a breakfast buffet. So especially that one. So we did that, and it's kind of a tradition. We've done it every year. So we ate there, and then after that, we went and met Merida. Line wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all, actually. Then we just hit it just right. And then we took my son on Mine Train. We used our swap pass, went on Mine Train. We did Haunted Mansion, which he was nervous about, but he liked. And then during that, my parents took Aria on the Teacups and Dumbo. And then we rode the Pooh ride together. And I'm trying to think, what did we do after that? Oh, I think then we just went back to the room and had lunch and rested. And then that evening we had Mama Melrose reservations. So that night we went back to Hollywood Studios, just the four of us. We ate at Mama Melrose. We rode Toy Story again, which I was able to get a fast pass for after using our first 3 fast passes. I snagged one. But the waits really aren't nearly as bad as they used to be now that they put in that second track. So we just went on that. Then we went back to the room and relaxed. And I think I took my son swimming this day in the evening. And that was really nice. It was dark and we got to swim, just me and him. And he went down some slides and he met some friends. So that was nice. The following day was our last day. And at this point, my daughter, who has been potty trained since October, was having trouble. This is too much information, but not with pee, with her poop. She's always not liked to go in public restrooms, poop. Like, who does, right? But we do, because you have to if you don't have a choice. But she was holding it in. And so at this point, she was like having a little bit of diarrhea. And so we had started putting a pull-up on her because she basically was refusing to go in public. And she really wasn't a big fan of going in the hotel either, even though we did bring her ring. So I didn't want to put her in a pool at this point, you know. Shouldn't put her in a pool. I don't know if she had a little virus or if it was just because we were traveling, but I wasn't putting her in a pool. So the plan this day was to go in the pool and then go to Magic Kingdom later in the day because we had Be Our Guest dinner reservations. We're just gonna have a chill end of the vacation, but she couldn't go in that pool. So my son and my husband went in the pool for the morning and then had lunch and then met up with us. We took Aria to go meet Belle in Epcot, and then we ate at Sunshine Seasons for lunch, which was yummy, and then took her on a journey into imagination with Figment because we had some time. Then we took the monorail over to Magic Kingdom and with my husband and my son after they met up with us. And then we took the ferry, and I highly recommend taking the ferry at least once if you have the chance on over to Magic Kingdom, because it's a nice little boat ride. You can see the castle, you see Space Mountain. I find it much more enjoyable than being crammed on the monorail. I think it could take a little longer sometimes. It depends on how long the monorail line is. But I do. It's like nice. You take the monorail over to the transportation center, and then you take the boat on over to Magic Kingdom. So that was nice. My daughter was having a hard time at this point. She was like super cranky, which kind of stunk, but she rallied, and we got there. We went on Big Thunder with my son, and then Aria went on Dumbo, and then after Big Thunder we went on over to Dumbo and met up with them, and they like splashed around in the water a little bit. We went on Ariel. Then we did Enchanted Tales with Belle, and the kids got to be parts in that. And my daughter was a little nervous, so she didn't really do much. But my son really likes to be participant in that, and he likes to meet Belle after. So they did that, and that was super cute. And we went to Be Our Guest, and we enjoy Be Our Guest. I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but we do really enjoy Be Our Guest. It's hard to see in the vlogs because my son goes and he's like, I want to sit in the dungeon, which is the West Wing, and it's super, super dark in there. So I couldn't really video much of our dinner. Then after Be Our Guest, my parents took the kids back, and me and my husband were able to enjoy one last night in Magic Kingdom. Just the two of us, and it was really nice. Like, it was one of the best memories. Those 2 nights in Magic Kingdom with like my son and my husband, and then this one when it was just the two of us, were just so nice, like, way to end the trip. And we went to the People Mover. We rode the People Mover, which we hadn't done that trip yet, and it was like nice and relaxing. And there was actually a line because it was really busy that night because it was the first Happily Ever After. Like 7 o'clock, my parents were heading out, and there was already people staking out their spots for fireworks at 9. It wasn't even 7, it was like 6:30. So we went on the People Mover. There was a line for the People Mover, but you know, it moves fast. It's the people mover. We went on it. That was nice and relaxing. Got to see the sights of Tomorrowland and the castle. And then we went to Tomorrowland dessert party. And the dessert party for the fireworks. And the desserts were really good this time. We had done it before, and they weren't nearly as good, but it used to be a lot less expensive too. So that's probably why. It's a lot more expensive now, but they have like really cute desserts, like Maleficent desserts, and like Minnie desserts, and Mickey desserts, and like macarons, and ice cream, and fruit, and lots of yummy things. I wish that I was more hungry, and I knew this was going to be a problem, but we already had our beer guest reservation. We wanted to go to that, and then I found out that Happily Ever After is going to be starting, and I'm like, we're doing the dessert party. I'm not dealing with that crowd. So, you know, better plans would be to eat earlier and not eat a lot and eat more dessert because it was really yummy. So we sat and we ate our dessert, and I don't know. Yeah, so after you eat your dessert, you get walked over to the Garden View area because we did Garden View dessert party. You can do the one where you stay at Tomorrowland Terrace, but in my opinion, with these new fireworks, you want to go to the garden anyway. So it was nice. We got to like sit on the hub grass, lay down, relax, look at the pretty castle, and then the fireworks were amazing. And it was the first night, so like everyone was there. You know, I saw some people from the Diz there. I saw people from Mouse Steps there. I did not say hi to any of them because they were obviously very busy, setting everything up and working. And I saw Rhino from the Diz, and that was cool, but he was heading into the bathroom, and I wasn't gonna bother him while he was heading into the bathroom. So, but the fireworks were really nice. The crowd seemed to really enjoy them. And the vibe was really cool because it was like the first day. And after that, it was just a mass of people, but we decided to go on some rides since the park was open. I don't remember till when, maybe midnight. So we went and we did Pirates and Jungle Cruise, which I hadn't been on the Jungle Cruise in years. I do like it. I think it's funny. It's punny. But my husband was always like, why go on that? Why go on that? I'm like, you know, you need to go on it. You love puns. It's like your favorite kind of humor. So he went on it and he thought it was fun, especially without the kids, you know, not having to worry about them. And it was at night, so that was nice. And then after that, we headed out, and the crowds had thinned enough where it wasn't too crazy. So that was our last night, slowly meandering down Main Street. Looking back at the castle, waving goodbye until next time.